as we get ready before too long to get racing once again underway here at the Extreme Sports Park. Eric Werner, we've been talking about him all day long in a couple of different regards. One, of course, that he has one of the fastest boats on the course out here and has been racing in the unlimited class. And the other thing we had been talking about was Big Al and motorsports for the kids, as he is a part of that as well. At last night's Show and Shine, I had a chance to talk to him about the very weird day of racing that took place in St. John 2 weeks ago, and talking about some expectations for this race as well. Eric, that was one of the craziest races I've ever seen. You qualify in the last qualifier, and then you go out and win the race. What were the problems you were having leading up to going out there and just chewing up the track?
Starter issues. In our wreck here in Port Angeles, the run after that wreck, we took on a bunch of water and it was sloshing around and got into our starter and didn't know it. And so I think it was a 4-week break, and over those 4 weeks, I started it after that and the starter worked fine, but then the boat sat there for probably a week. And we go to start it on Friday night on the boat ramp, and the starter died on us. So we borrowed some starters, but then we're having some grounding issues and different things like that. So it was all about the starter.
I love it. It's all about the starter. Well, once you finally got it started, everything was clicking.
It did. There was a little pressure there with only one qualifier left, and just try to kind of keep a cool head. And I was lucky enough to have a really good crew chief that he was taking over the boat all day, so I trying to keep my mind in the game of if I actually had to go out and run a run, and studying the rotation, watching the other boats. So it was a little bit of pressure, but yeah, it worked out.
Well, it most certainly did, and the first win for you in this particular boat and this particular build, that had to also be pretty good because Dan Morrison was running well.
He was running hard, and this boat's been getting faster and faster almost every single race. Last season it was all about getting the big problems fixed. This season it's all about dialing it in, making the small corrections. So it is getting faster and faster, and it's getting smoother to drive because I keep fine-tuning the fins and the balance and everything. So it's getting easier to drive and it's going faster. So it's a good place to be at the end of the season.
For folks that are curious, tell them a little bit about the power plant.
It's a 463 cubic inch Chevy small block, all aluminum. It's honestly in the class, it's a little bit low on the horsepower, about 830 horsepower, 720 foot-pounds of torque. So we're kind of coming up with some ideas this winter to boost that a little bit.
God, how much faster can you make it go?
I don't think there's ever such thing as too fast or too much power. So if you have the power, you can always, you don't have to use it all. But people say, well, you can't even flat foot it yet. Well, you don't flat foot a track. If you are, you're probably doing it wrong. And then that last rotation in St. John was all about that. There's no way. Yeah, you could have flat-footed it, but your times are actually going to be slower. So the old saying of slow down to go fast was totally true. And if you have the extra horsepower, you can go faster where you can and still slow down and set yourself up for the turn. So, yeah, I don't think I could ever get enough horsepower.
Had a chance to take a look at the rotation yet?
Yeah, I haven't. Well, I know that we were number one. With the 3 on there, I kind of looked at both of them lightly, with not really cementing it in my head quite yet. But yeah, I like the number one. It's a good mix, I think, of those straight. This track right here, those 2 channels that cut kind of straight across the track. Those are the hard ones there because you want to go straight, but it's a really hard corner at the end of them. So we cut straight across a couple times, I think, in this one. So those are the hard spots for me that I kind of pay extra attention to. But overall, I like the rotation.
Well, Eric, it was a great win in St. John, no doubt about it. It's about as dramatic as it could be. Good luck this weekend. Looking forward to it.
Thank you very much. We're looking forward to a good day of racing, and thanks for the comments at St. John. It was an emotional win for us because it's taken us 2 years to get there, and it all kind of came together. Too bad that it went happened the way it did. You never want to win that way, but a win's a win, and after all our hard work, I'll take it for sure. So hopefully we'll be in the finals and let the times settle out where we stand.
All right. That is Eric Werner, of course, with Jolly Roger Racing. So, if you'd like to win yourself a Jolly Roger's hat and you haven't won anything today, you know that the Jolly Roger is a skull and crossbones. So, we're looking for anything with a skull or bones, whether it's a shirt, whether it's a flag, whether it's a air freshener. You've already won something, haven't you? No? All right, so you've got the skull and crossbow and eye patch. So there you go. And we've got a guy up here showing me his bald pate.